Let's move around to the front of the cafe at the western side. This building wasn't always a cafe. Originally, it had a completely different use, but only for a very brief period. It's the oldest building on the lakeside. As Thomas Riley started his project to close the Stanner Bank to form the lake, a group of businessmen took out a short lease on the lands to the west of the lake area to create a golf club. Fairhaven Golf Club had holes either side of the stream flowing into the lake, with a wooden bridge to gain access to the holes on the seaward side. Henry Littler, a renowned architect from Manchester, was commissioned to design the new clubhouse. Littler went on to design several houses on the Fairhaven estate with a very distinctive style of semi-detached properties with a balcony over the front entrance porches. 1896 was not a good year for the golf club. After a short summer season, a huge storm hit the coast in October and the Stanner Bank was breached, flooding the area behind, including the new clubhouse. These old photographs show the extent of the flooding. The railway tracks laid during the excavation work can be seen in the foreground, and the wooden bridge for the golf course in the distance. The golf club handed back the clubhouse and moved further west to establish a new course among the sand dunes where the school now stands. Henry Littler was again asked to design a new clubhouse on St Paul's Avenue. Although now private houses, it is still recognisable as the Henry Littler design. If you look closely at the area opposite the school towards the sand dunes, the sand bunkers can still be seen from one of the holes. The building of the school and houses to the west caused the club to make another move to its present location to the west of Lytham Hall. Although well outside the district of Fairhaven, it's retained its name as Fairhaven Golf Club to this day. Once the Stanner Bank had been rebuilt and the lake formed again, the clubhouse was leased to the Temperance Society for use as a cafe. They only stayed 1 year, but other tenants took over, and the cafe has continued with several modifications and extensions being made over the years. Part of the heritage plan will see this building undergoing extensive renovation so that it may continue to be enjoyed for many more years. We now walk back around the cafe to look at the bowling greens. In 1909, the sand dunes between Eddington Road and Myra Road were levelled by the Fairhaven Estate Company for housing plots. The sand was used to cover the boggy ground between the inner promenade and the lake shore. This allowed the laying of the 4 grass tennis courts and a bowling green, which were opened to the public in June 1910. It was always the intention of Thomas Riley and the Fairhaven Estate Company to provide a broad range of leisure activities at the lake, not simply boating, and this was now becoming a reality. In 1912, a private bowling club was formed with 40 members and a new public bowling green was provided with a clubhouse for the private club. The membership gradually declined and could not afford the rent for the clubhouse, so the club closed by the late 1930s. Look at the name above the bowling club entrance. It says Marine Park Bowling Club. This was originally based at the Green, which was part of the Fairhaven Hotel on Marine Drive. The first Fairhaven Hotel was built by Boddington's Brewery in 1897. The Fairhaven Estate Company always planned to have the full range of amenities in Fairhaven, and Boddingtons were persuaded by a generous lease to build a hotel. The plot included a full-size crown green bowling green that bordered the inner promenade. The bowling club based here was known as the Marine Bowling Club. It is this club that moved to the Lake Bowling Green and clubhouse when the hotel was demolished in 1976, to be replaced by a smaller pub with flats built on the large plot where the bowling green had been. Unlike the bowling club, the tennis club prospered. There were more than a dozen tennis courts and over 200 members in 1920, and a new pavilion was built that year by Thomas Riley's company. In 1922, the sale of the lake and parkland to the newly formed borough of Lytham St Anne's was agreed for the sum of £34,000. Further extension of the recreational facilities followed from the adoption of the Thomas Mawson plan for developing the parkland. This included more tennis courts and a new shelter and pavilion in front of these that was used as a ticket office and equipment hire store for boating, putting and tennis. This pavilion was built in 1926, designed by the Borough Surveyor and built by a St Anne's builder. We will hear more about the Thomas Mawson plan on a later walk. We are now going to walk back to the path along the lake and towards the Spitfire Memorial. We're going swimming.